Hello, and welcome to today's episode of The Daily Blend. I'm your host, AC, and we are joined in studio today by Melissa Gerke, who is the Development Director of the American Heart Association for Columbia and Jeff City, and Susan Hart, who is the VP of Reinhardt Construction, but also on the Executive Committee.
Yeah, the Executive Leadership Committee for Go Red for Women.
Absolutely. So thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So, Melissa, give us a little bit of background about American Heart Association.
Sure. So the American Heart Association, we're actually in our 100th year of impact. We were founded in 1924. Go Red for Women, which is kind of what's happening here in Columbia this month, is in its 20th anniversary year. So 20 years ago, the American Heart Association kind of looked at the landscape of women's health and noticed that there was a significant need for awareness and education amongst women that heart disease was and is their number one health threat. It kills more women than all forms of cancer combined, 1 in 3 every year. Also that there wasn't research that was focused specifically on women. So at that time, all of the research around heart health, around treatments, around interventions and technology was all taken from a man and just applied to a smaller body. And of course, we know so much more now and know for sure that that's not how we're going to treat women effectively.
Yeah.
So Go Red for Women is really, it's an amazing movement that brings women together to advocate for each other, to empower us, to take charge of our health, to feel comfortable and confident advocating for our health in the medical system, and to, spread that message throughout our communities while also raising funds to continue research so that someday it won't be our number one killer.
Absolutely. That is what a wonderful mission.
Yes.
What a wonderful mission. And how smart of someone to say, you know what? It's not all the same.
It's not. It's really not.
Figure out a new way to talk about how we treat and listen to women in the medical spaces. So Susan, tell us how you got involved.
Well, heart disease is prevalent in my family, both my mother and my father's side of the family. It's devastating to like 3 generations at least. And for me, I'm involved because I've watched the research and the treatment for heart disease change from my mother to my age, my siblings, and now my siblings' children.
Yeah.
And so I really feel like, though, there's a lot more room to go. And we just need to get more individuals, more money raised for research, especially around women's heart health.
Yeah, that's a really great point. And did you mention that you guys did something earlier this year?
We did. So part of our fundraising for Go Red for Women this year, there's a new initiative for STEM, Go Red STEM. So what we did on October 18th, a Friday, we used the Stevens College facilities, and we had around 90 8th graders, Columbia Public School 8th grade young women come in, and we had many sponsors. We had Shelter, we had Boone Health, University Health, Stevens College, and then Reinhardt Wilson. So what we did is we featured the careers in. So the way I told everyone, the way that we did this is the women who build the hospitals and medical facilities, the women who treat the individuals that are using the facilities. And then we also had a financial aspect with Shelter, brought in the women who do the finances for the medical facilities.
Yeah.
There are really still a lot of young women who have not ever seen a female physician or a female engineer. So we just wanted to go ahead and use this opportunity to expose young women to those careers. And that's another passion of mine. So it fit really nicely and it was fun. We had a lot of great time that day.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. And I know that's a passion of yours. We've talked about it many different times. And I'm so grateful that it is, because it's so nice to have girls at that age start to be exposed to things that maybe they don't get to see every day. So what a great thing for an 8th grade girl to be sitting there saying, okay, maybe I'm interested in that. Maybe I can do that.
Right. And to see women doing those jobs. We did a little bit of pre-work. Columbia Public Schools was a great partner for us on this. And so I was able to go into some of the classrooms ahead of time and hear these girls just kind of express in many different ways that they just really didn't feel like that was a welcoming space for them. I mean, one girl actually articulated in those actual words that it was a man's space and that what this event would do for them was welcome them into places maybe they hadn't been. And so that opportunity to have one-on-one interactions with women in STEM fields and begin to envision themselves in those roles I think that was a really important piece of this.
Yeah.
And, hopefully those people, those girls will grow up, some of them to be the future physicians, the future innovators that will, help women to, have a healthier life and better outcomes.
Yeah, I definitely think that will be the case. I definitely think that will be the case. So people might be wondering, we have these purses, these bags sitting in front of us, and these would be for the event that you have coming up very soon?
Yes, absolutely. So our Go Red for Women Evening in Red is what we call it. It's happening on November 14th at the Atrium on 10th. And part of that evening is a silent auction that we call a personality. So women like yourself, Adonica, and this other bag was donated by Heather Plews, put together a bag that speaks to them, that, features things that they love. And then you have the opportunity to bid and take home one or several bags.
Yeah, and that is fun. I mentioned to you before we rolled that I had gone to one of these events long time ago. And I remember this bag specifically that I got from there. And so you always remember it. And I think it had like a sushi set.
Fun.
I feel like there was and it was the one and only time I've ever tried to make sushi on my own at home, but I was inspired by what was in the bag. And so, you have the bag and then you get the items that come in. And I love being able to put something like that together.
It's super
like
fun.
A little bit of your personality kind of in a bag. So for people who may not be able to make it, we can't get you in the event. But if you have a friend that's going,
that's right.
Tell them to send you pictures of these bags.
Absolutely.
Correct?
Yes, for sure.
That's right. And if anybody wants more information on any of the things you talked about, the website is
hart.org/Columbia Go Red.
Okay. And then we've also got goredforwomen.org on the thing. And that will probably lead to you guys as well.
It will. You can find us from there as well.
Perfect. Well, that is wonderful. Thank you for the work you're doing and continuing to do.
Thank you.
I'm certainly looking forward to the event. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Welcome to your Be Well moment presented by Burrell Behavioral Health. Today, we are using our sense of sight to look for things of beauty around us. So take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, gently guide your attention to something beautiful in your space. Maybe you notice the way the sunlight shines through a window, a preferred color, or an image of a loved one. Pay attention to the various textures and patterns on an item of clothing or fabric. There is so much beauty in the small things if we only take a moment to breathe and notice.